Meeting of the Hammond Capital Improvement Board. Would you please rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You get a roll call, please.
Moore.
Here.
Muta.
Here.
Prieto.
Here.
Spitali.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Warple.
Councilman
Warple.
Warple.
Button.
I think he's trying to check his,
Blink twice.
I'm here.
Okay.
and Button's here. So let the record reflect. We have 6 in chambers and 1 on Zoom, so we do have a quorum. Thank you. Board, you should have received in your packet a copy of the meeting minutes in draft form for our meeting dated November 20th, 2023. The chair would entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Commissioner Muta makes a motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilman Spitali. Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes? Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Moore.
Yes.
Muta.
Yes.
Prieto.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries
Yes.
7 in favor and no dissent. Sorry. Next item on the agenda is a report on the work study session. Immediately prior to this meeting, we had a brief discussion on today's agenda item. Any other comments regarding the work study session? Item 6 is funding.
There's no report today, Mr. President.
Thank you. Commissioner Moore. Is there any matters from the mayor, council, or other departments? I see Councilman Emerson is present in the room. Be happy to entertain your comments, sir.
Thank you, Dean. First, I want to say Merry Christmas to all your families, and Councilman Warple, Merry Christmas. And then I received a call from a lady referring to River Drive and Calumet Avenue, right where the bike bridge is at. And I had a response to her. She said there's a patch, there's a bump on our side of the bridge. And I said, well, that's the state's responsibility. And she said, no, it's not. I talked to the street department, and they didn't seem to know that it's not the state's responsibility. And I said, well, then it's the county's responsibility because that's a bridge, and the county does all the bridges. And she says, no, it's ours. And I want to thank Dean because I said this to her, and he said, yes, it is ours. There's maybe, I don't know, what would you say, 5 foot patch,
Essentially.
couple.
Width of the street, yes, sir.
Yeah, and it was ours, so it looks great, and so, and then I had another question, and so she was right, and I said that to her. I called her back and said, you were right. So anyway, regarding the lights on the new bike bridge at River Drive and Calumet, can we ever get to where it's like fancy, like Conkey?
Yes, sir.
Well, we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
We're waiting on a signal controller for the lights on that bridge, but for the time being, we're waiting for the electrician to finish putting that together, putting it in the cabinet and
Yeah,
starting it up.
I love the red and green that's on City Hall and as well. and green for St. Patrick's Day, you know. Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And I did check with county first before we did the resurfacing on the approach to the Little Calumet River Bridge, and the county said that was not their responsibility, and so that's why we took it on. And that was Dwayne Alverson at the county. We were in very close cooperation with my department. Thank you, Councilman Emerson. Appreciate the kind comments. Next item on the agenda is old business. Any old business? Okay, next item is new business. Item 9A is a funding allocation for the Marquette Greenway, Kennedy Decline, a Phase 2 environmental study in the amount of $29,800. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion?
Thank you, Commissioner Prieto. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Muta. For the Marquette Greenway, Kennedy Decline, Phase 2 environmental study. Is there any discussion? The regulators, particularly the environmental folks from IDEM, IDNR, and Fish and Wildlife, have all requested, in addition to the plant survey that they asked for, to do a Phase 2 environmental study of the project limits. I will say that we have taken samples through our Hammond Environmental Department, and Ron Novak was instrumental in pulling some samples along the site and found that there was nothing to be alarmed at this stage, but the Phase 2 environmental study will further characterize that segment. It's a natural area. It's a nature preserve now, so we don't expect a lot of problem, but it was an environmental area that had been cleaned up and made into a nature preserve. So we don't expect a lot, but it's a requirement as part of the moving forward on the federal grant. This project is scheduled to let sometime after July of 24, and we're just trying to keep the project on schedule, and based upon the comments by the regulators is sort of putting that schedule in jeopardy with this extra work. But appreciate your support if you so choose to support this. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Mr. President,
Oh, go ahead. Councilman Werpel.
is that off of, you say Kennedy Decline, is that off of Michigan?
So it would be north of Michigan, north of the Indiana Toll Road, sort of by Resco and the nature preserve there. That's Shirley Hines and the Nature Conservancy, between the Indiana Toll Road and the Grand Calumet River.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Spitali,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Warple,
Yes.
Button,
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Is there any other new business?
Mr. President?
Councilman Tyler.
Yeah, I would just like to thank the board for all of the work that you all have done over the past, I think, 3 years I've been on the Capital Improvements Board. Every year we go through nominations from the city council, and this time I decided not to put my name back in the hat. So I know that there'll be at least one new representative on the CIB from the city council, and I believe 3 maybe total. So just know that I'm still in support of the CIB and what the CIB was created to do, and anything I can do outside of being a member here, just let me know.
Appreciate it, Councilman. And I would like to thank the 3 councilmen that are all coming off the Capital Improvement Board. I know that Councilman Tyler and Councilman Spitali have been on since the inception of the board, and we appreciate Councilman Werpel's guidance as well over the past year. So it's sad to see you going, and I appreciate your support in the future, and look forward to you coming to the board for projects that you'd like to get done. So thank you again, and I appreciate that, and wish you all a Merry Christmas. Any other?
Mr. Button,
Sure, go ahead, Councilman Werpel.
Barry Tyler stole my words. I second what he said.
Thank you, Councilman
Or
Werpel.
as Barney Fife used to say, I was going to say that.
Yes, sir. Anything further?
I've enjoyed being in this, but somebody else had the chance to see what's going on.
Well, you were helpful early on, Councilman
It's
Spitali.
a little difference for us at large is we don't know an overlay to one over another. So we've learned a lot. So, but somebody else is time to take it over.
Sure. Well, you were instrumental, as was Councilman Tyler, in getting our scoring down, early on. So we appreciate that, and that was a big deal. I appreciate all the council support for this board. It's not been unnoticed, pardon the double negative, that we have passed every action unanimously since the inception of this board, and that just goes to show you the leadership that the council and the mayor bring to make sure that we're moving this city in the right direction. So I appreciate your guidance. Anything else?
And Mr. President, can I say one other thing?
Sure, Councilman Werpel.
I just wanted to thank the Councilman Tyler and Councilman Spitali too, and actually Councilwoman Benez, because every time I ever wanted a project before the board, Dean, I've taken you out and showed you exactly what it was. And I took Councilman Spitali and offered to take, Councilman Tyler to show him exactly what it was too. And rather than just trying to force something down a board's throat, it's always better to just talk about it in advance. And I appreciate you guys listening to me.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thanks, Councilman.
Well, if there's nothing further, the next meeting we would have scheduled would have been January 1st, and we're certainly not going to meet on January 1st. So it is likely that the next regularly scheduled meeting would be held on January 2nd. We'll have to keep you posted on that and the proposed meeting schedule for 2024. Obviously, our first meeting will be reforming the Capital Improvement Board for the year. And if there's nothing further, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.